Transitioning from just catching whitewater to riding open face waves is one of the more challenging things that you will learn within surfing. Once you've got that, you're pretty much ready to really start progressing. So throughout the course of this video, I'm going to try to keep it short, sweet, and simple on the best way that I think there is to approach transitioning from riding whitewash to catching open face waves. Someone in this community mentioned that they're having trouble because as they're going to catch the wave and they're good enough to paddle into the wave, when they go to ride down the face of it, they end up purling or they end up just getting ragdolled altogether. There's a few factors that could be causing this. But before we get into it, I'm going to break down the 5 different stages of a wave so that throughout the rest of this video, we can reference them and you'll have a better idea on how to get into it. Don't mind my mediocre drawing, but we have stages 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are the general 5 stages at which you're going to be looking at waves when you're out in the water. Starting with number 1, which is a wave that is unbroken. Imagine that it's 100 yards further out from where the waves are breaking and there's really no signs that it's going to be cresting. Stage 2 is when it really starts to feel the bottom and you'll see it start to stand up, typically 25 yards in front of where you're sitting if you're sitting in the right spot. Stage 3 is ideally where you're going to end up catching the wave. It's right where it's starting to get steep enough, but it's not completely throwing over like in stage 4, so that you'll be able to maintain control and adjust your positioning accordingly. Stage 5 is whitewash. The goal is to be paddling for the wave at stage 2 so that by the time it gets to stage 3, you have enough speed generated to get into the wave and stand up and point the direction you want to go. If you are purling or you catch yourself taking off too late, that's because you're approaching the wave when it's more in the late stage 3 into early stage 4, and that's going to limit your potential, especially if you're on a soft top, because the curvature of the wave is going to be so steep that you're not going to be able to ride out because the rocker of those boards is so flat. The person who is asking this question lives on the east coast of the US, which means that a lot of the beach breaks there are really intense. Some of the best beach breaks in the world are found over there during a lot of these hurricane swells. In order to mitigate this, you can approach the wave at a slight angle, knowing the direction that you're going to want to go, whether you want to go right or left. And you only need a slight angle. If you angle too much, you're going to push yourself right up over the back of the wave. So the goal is to angle somewhere between 15 and 30 degrees so that you get just enough projection as you're paddling to get up and start moving down the line. Because as you go down a wave that's super steep at an angle, the flat rockered board will handle much better and not purl. The timing of catching the wave is by far the most important thing. Ideally, at this stage in your surfing, you'll be able to take off straight on pretty much any wave there is. So if you catch yourself purling or getting ragdolled, you might just be a little bit too late and should sit 15 to 30 feet further out and give yourself an extra 2 or 3 paddle strokes so that you can get into it just a fraction of a second earlier and sit back and put more weight on the tail so that you can ride out of the wave without any issues. I know it might seem like a lot and it's really complicated, so I'm going to be putting together a different beginner course here in the next week or so you have a more insight into how to actually transition into that. But I wanted to make this video in short so that those of you who are wondering or you might be in this phase, it serves you well. As always, shoot me a DM if you have questions, post a question or a comment in the discussion section. And if you'd like more coaching, always feel free to sign up for the weekly coaching calls. I also will be offering one-on-one coaching here very soon. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.